When you were a kid, did you ever make comics? Did you ever make comics or comic books of your original characters or your favorite characters in fiction, fighting, beating it out? Well, I would love to share my experience in making comics. What I'm gonna do in this video is talk about my comics series by series, newer to older, okay? There have been a few comics that I've just started and stopped. So let's talk about those first before I get to what I would like to call the main event. So before we eventually get there, let me detail exactly what I'm gonna do in this video. 1. I can't go through every comic I've ever made because, well, I can't. I don't have access to them all. I've lost some of them, as I'll go into later. And 2, I just don't want to go through all of the ones that I do have. Some of them are just not necessary to go through, and some of them I just don't like. Also, I kinda lied when I said we were going newer to older. It's kinda that, but we're going through some miscellaneous comics first, and then it'll be newer to older, okay? Concretely. Let's go. First, let's talk about Sonic comics. This is a comic series that I was gonna be excited to do because, you know, Sonic's one of my favorite fictional characters up there with the Flash.
Doesn't matter if you can't hit me.
But I only ended up making so many comics. I only ended up making about 5, and then turn out. So we have one comic that we're looking at, okay? What does Shadow sound like? What's going on here? I can't open this pickle jar, Shadow. It's almost like it's don't say it. Now, all you have to do is twist. I'm sorry, Shadow, but I think it's no use. I told you not to say that. There's only one way. What's that way? Chaos Blast. What? And that's the end. Silver can't open a pickle jar, and Shadow helps by detonating his house. I'm not gonna be narrating every single one of these comics, okay? That would take forever. Some of these are just gonna be summaries, and I'll narrate a couple panels or so. Another comic series that has a little more drive put into it, Super Smash Bros. Brawl comics. I think it was Brawl. Why Brawl specifically? I loved playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl. It was my first Smash Bros. Game. No nostalgia talking, Brawl is kinda good. The later games are obviously better, much so. So the one comic I'm gonna be talking about for this series, Sonic's the Fastest. In this comic, Sonic is hunting down Mario. How does Mario get away? I can't tell you. Because Mario said he was faster than him. That's it. Sonic is trying to kill him, apparently. Once through Link's wall, they just fixed. And Link throws a bomb at Sonic. Sonic dies. I don't know. Gets thrown into the blast zone. Detonates into special effects. This is where I start getting excited, okay? This is where we pick up, because we have more than one comic to talk about. This series is based off two of my original characters, Kyle and Dave comics. These comics are based off my original characters, Kyle and Dave. Now, you aren't wondering, because I can read your mind. You probably don't care, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Why is Kyle's name like this? Well, even before the comic came out, I changed the design. So Kyle's wearing a long sleeve shirt with red sleeves. Before, he used to look like this. So I just kept the jumpsuit design. Wait! What? Go back. What do you mean go back? Go back. What was in that picture? What was it? The one you just showed. This? That's what you're talking about? Yeah, I want an explanation. What is that? Okay. You see, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with the news. As you can tell by my news videos, I like doing the news. I liked watching the local news. I still do. It's one of my hyperfixations, if you will. Kind of. I used to have an entire channel. I forgot the password to that account. I drew my Sonic OCs doing news. There was myself, Dave, I think Sophia one time, and Shredder. Also Ashley. Most of whom have been redrawn. I haven't gotten to Shredder yet. There's so many characters. I can't redesign all these characters. Okay, it's too many. Okay, Hedgehog Hex has too many characters. You can't make me redesign all of them. You can't make me. Anyway, the Kyle and Dave comics are very fun. They're fun comics. They are contained in their own little world that may or may not make sense. The first comic is called Bored. In this one, Kyle, who is, of course, bored, is suggested by Dave to go outside, which is something that, you know, a lot of people should do. Maybe not right now, because it is hot as fuck. Kyle goes outside, and I don't know how he does this. Kyle is out there for who knows how long, on top of the house. Dave walks out the front door, and he sees Kyle on top of the house, and he's like, Kyle, what the fuck are you doing? Well, he says get down. Kyle somehow slides down the roof. Kyle appears dead. Dave is like, holy shit, Kyle. And Kyle's just trolling. He's just trolling. The end. It's stuff like that. But another Kyle and Dave comic is Samsung. As you can see, I drew over the logo because, you know, that's something you can do. Kyle is at home knocking on the door, and there's a giant Samsung tablet that seems to have crashed through the roof. Kyle's like, I guess Dave isn't home, and he looks up at his roof and he's like, holy pants. Yeah. A piece of paper flies down, and Kyle looks at it. It says, you haven't paid your bill. Now you will pay. Whose paper's that? Why is he getting it? Well, later. I think I meant meanwhile. It might as well be happening at the same time as Kyle finding out about all this. But whatever, Dave is kidnapped by this demon-looking fellow. The demon says, oh, I will never. And that's the end. It's part 1. But so far it looks like Dave is being kidnapped because Kyle didn't pay his Samsung assumably tablet bill. You don't get bills for tablets, I don't think. So I don't know why. Whatever, okay. There's also this Jason Bourne crossover I did. Even though I know nothing about Jason Bourne, here's what I don't know about Jason Bourne. Up until recently, unless I knew before, I didn't know how many movies he's had. I didn't know how many books he's had. I didn't know he was based off a book. I made this crossover presumably because of the popularity of that movie. The movie with the
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne
meme. I don't even know if this character looks like Jason Bourne. Now, I can put it up side to side. What do you guys think? Does he look like Matt Damon or whoever played Jason Bourne? Now, here's another comic that has more comics, I think, I'm pretty sure, than either of these previous series. Kirby's World. Kirby's World is a comic I started because I also like Kirby. There are 3 specific comics that I would love to talk to you about. The Kirby vs. Spider-Man trilogy. Kirby minding his own business, okay? Spider-Man is here. He's like, I wonder if Kirby's still at his house. How does he know Kirby? How does he know he's in a house? I don't know. Here's the thing. I do know my intentions with some of the things in some of these comics, but a lot of the time, I cannot tell you what the fuck I was thinking. Sometimes it's just random stuff. Sometimes it just happens. And I literally can't tell you because the original reason is it just happens. So, as you're gonna see, Kirby doesn't know Spider-Man. Spider-Man literally breaks through Kirby's window. Kirby is watching TV, and Spider-Man breaks through his fucking window. Kirby faces an intruder. Spider-Man is just like, it's just me, Kirby. He don't know you. Very clearly. Kirby pulls out a knife from God knows where. Where'd you get that knife? Kirby throws it, stabs Spider-Man in the leg. Spider-Man is on the ground. he's fucking dead. Not really, but like, you know, Kirby's praising the magic conch. That's it. It just ends just like that. Kirby vs. Spider-Man 2. Kirby's watching TV, like usual, and Spider-Man is on TV. Spider-Man walks out of the TV. How? Why? I don't fucking know. I don't know why I did this. I don't know why I would have a reason for Spider-Man to just walk out of this fucking TV. I don't know why he does that. Kirby throws another knife at him in the cast that's protecting his leg that got stabbed the last time. Spider-Man throws it back. Mad Knight's here. Mad Knight throws his sword, and that breaks through the cast. Spider-Man says again, and Kirby goes Super Saiyan. Kamehameha Spider-Man out of his house. And that's it. So, how does this end? How has this not ended yet? Well, Kirby vs. Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man, presumably some months later, maybe a month, because he doesn't have the cast anymore, somehow. So this is like some time later. He will have revenge on him. He's incensed. He is completely in the wrong, and he's still mad. While Kirby is sleeping, Spider-Man is like breaking through his window again. He's angry. Kirby apparently swallowed Captain Falcon, and he says, "This is it." Falcon Punch smashes Spider-Man's face in. The entire Midwest America, apparently, according to this artist's depiction, is detonated. 3 days later, this is the part that I finished just a few days ago. Before the 3 days later, that was maybe 9 years ago. This was a while ago. Kirby is sitting on his couch. He gets a knock at his door. And here, you can see a reality change that will be greatly elaborated on by the end of this video. You can see the stick figure changing into an actual grade 8 looking Captain America. Okay, are you Kirby? Yeah. Spider-Man has told me that you what? What I want to know is how he's still alive. Kirby flies out under Captain America's legs. Kirby is gone. Hey, I want to have to sick the Avengers on you, but consider them alerted. That's it. I am planning a crossover event starring the Avengers. Who will they be crossing over with? I'll tell you later. There's also some smaller projects I worked on during while in middle school. One is Mr. Person. I am going to raise your paycheck by 1 cent. But my paycheck is only 56 cents. Get out of my office. Another comic I made was that one lucky apple. Why are you eating that apple? It's a lucky apple. So if I were to stab Terry, he won't die? Wait, what? Luckily, I have a knife to prove the luckiness. Texas. And the last one is actually a comic that I've talked about on this channel before. Actually, in fact, I'm in the middle of making a comic, or whatever it's called, a graphic novel. I don't know, a comic. Okay. This is what it is. It's Calvin, and nowhere near them fit. But who cares? That's not the point of this video. And that's pretty much it. That is the last of my miscellaneous comics. Oh, wait, there is one more that I would love even more to talk about than the rest of this shit. This is amazing, okay? There's this comic that was gonna be so good, it was so grand, that I made a release date for myself. Like I've done before, I've done this multiple times before, but this one was gonna be based off of Metroid. It was gonna be so good. It was gonna have this Sonic and Shadow in it. Yeah, I guess it was gonna have Sonic and Shadow in it. This will be a recurring trend, as you're about to see. So, the comic is titled Spaceship. We meet Samus and her spaceship. It looks boring. I have you know that spaceship is boring. You should see the inside. They're all in the spaceship. They leave at hyperspeed, ludicrous speed, whatever. And they land somewhere in the deep depths of space. Samus, I smell smoke. The entire fucking planet detonates. They're all dead. This is the only comic that I made. Do you have any idea how, after all this buildup, after all the times that I advertised this to myself, all of this bravado, I draw this comic with this shitty fucking looking Samus and these weird looking Sonic and Shadow, and then everybody fucking dies. Do you have any idea how hilarious that is? You thought you were getting a comic series? What? What comic series? This is it. Everybody dies. they all die. The planet detonates like fucking a Super Metroid or something. I don't know how long Sonic, Shadow, and Samus have known each other. It doesn't matter. They all die on the planet Get Funked, let's call it. They all die on the planet Get Funked. And they are never seen again. That's the entire comic series. It's one thing for it to be dark humor, okay? I don't really like dark humor. Not like edgy humor. Like just, this is sad. This is sad and horrible and dark and hopeless. And it's so fucking hilarious. I'm not for that. But this is different. This is probably completely unintentional. Because as you've seen, well, as you're about to see, planets explode a lot. This is completely unintentional comedy. Haha, the planet explodes. Explosion's funny, right? It's funny because of the context. It's funny because why does it even happen? Why does Sonic smell smoke? Was the entire planet a bomb? Who knows? The randomness of it all makes it hilarious. And I'm glad I'm never touching this comic series again, because it cannot be touched. There's nothing here. And I love it for that. I love it for that. We're at the big free now. My first free comic series. But this comic series is very bare bones. It's the weak. It is the weakest of the big three, sadly. So there's only so much to talk about or say about this, which might be by design. Anime Land is a generic anime parody. You got the generic anime protagonist with the spiky hair and the pointy teeth, and you got the generic anime friend and a fucking Pokemon. I don't know. There's a Surkai and someone who I forgot the name of somehow. I think the original name started with a D. I don't remember. It's been years. I forgot his name years ago. Why after I started the series? I don't know. I don't think his name was ever said in the comics. All the other characters' names were said. I'm telling you. So I just call him Dante. And then there's Saku, who I don't know what she is. She is clearly a parody of Pikachu, the Pokemon. But what is she actually? I don't know. I don't think she's a Pikachu. I don't even think she has a tail. I don't know. I don't know what her deal is. She's a fucking alien, for all I know. So as I was saying, the comics, the characters, I can't tell you much about them. These comics are very bland. They're not that good. I only have a handful that I'm bothering to mention because it really is not much to talk about, okay? There is a comic where a Surkai fights another anime protagonist, Naruto, and he does a fussful on him like it's fucking 2013 or something. There's a Mega Man parody in there. There's another comic where he fights another shonen protagonist, Ichigo, who is his father apparently. That's the last comic, by the way. Surkai makes Ichigo eat shit, and that's it. That's the end of Anime Land. Anime Land the movie? No. No. And there is no the movie. There is a particular comic that I would like to put a little more attention to than the others. Not necessarily because of the content in it. No, I'm laughing at how it looks. Look at this. Look at this. This is awful. It is the earliest comic I still have of Anime Land. And as you can tell, it definitely looks the part. The story? You want me to tell you the story of this comic? Yes, this is one of the first comics, right? I think I have earlier comics that are more remarkable than this, okay? I wonder what to do today. Baku, this is the villain. This is the villain character. There's also Zaku, who looks like Lucario, who is a rival to Saku. Baku punches the door to pieces. Dante is like, not again, bro. Not again. Even if this might be his first appearance here. I think I know what to do today. Baku is saying typical villain shit, anime villain shit. This time, you will finally be defeated. Dante butts in like he was the one being talked to. I don't think so. Saku's here. Hi guys. Hi Saku. Surkai does fire punch and Baku's done. Then we get these abominations of drawings. The end. One of the shittiest comics I've ever done. But that short chapter, yeah. We could go through some more of the comics. I won't. You want me to get to something exciting? Well, that's what the next chapter is for. And the chapter after that. And the chapter after that. We can get to that right now if you want. Before we get to the next comic series, it would be amazing if you could join my Discord server. It would be great if you could join. It's been a year and a half, and nobody's there. There's like not even 10 members in this Discord server. It would be amazing if we had something there, or I'm just deleting the server and there's no value in having a Discord server with no fucking interaction, okay? So if you could join, that would be amazing. The link's right here. I'm not leaving until you join. The Puzzle and Mainline comics are very, very silly. It's like what the Kyle and Dave comics would have been, but even sillier. In these comics, we follow Puzzle and Mainline, who, because I guess I just decided that I couldn't do the design on their cheeks all the time. That's too much work. I can't do that. So the only way you can tell them apart is if Puzzle, the dumb one, is doing that thing. You know the thing. The opposite of crossing your eyes. I don't know what that's called, but usually you can tell them apart because Puzzle is a mess. He's dumb. He's also a mess, an absolute mess. Minon is just trying to be normal, just trying to have a life, trying to have a relationship with the neighbors that they're around, and Puzzle don't care. He is having the time of his life, doing whatever the fuck he wants. Minon is basically a straight man to Puzzle. And then there's also Pikachu, who doesn't really have that much interaction with the both of them because he doesn't like them. He doesn't really like them anyway. It's not really clear why. Maybe he just doesn't like Puzzle, which is reasonable, perfectly reasonable. There's also Chucky, who isn't a Pokemon. Doesn't really appear that much. He's just a creature. He's just there. There is a dedicated comic for him that we'll get to. Oh, and I guess I should also mention, there's also Sonic, and Tails and Knuckles, and to a lesser extent Shadow. Shadow is meaningless. Now, I made this comic around the time that Sonic Boom was being revealed. Around the time they were revealing the designs for Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Apparently, I got Knuckles' design right, whether that was before or after the actual reveal of what Knuckles would look like, I don't remember. According to one of the comics, this was around that time. It could have been before, maybe so. I'm gonna interrupt myself for a second. I was going to do a little bit where I brought up the silhouettes they did of the new designs. And I was gonna tell y'all if it looked like Sonic was wearing a vest. He wears a vest, by the way, and full clothing, I think. That was before I actually looked at the image. I haven't actually seen this silhouette reveal in years, so I was incredulous at my young self for thinking this looked like Sonic was wearing a vest. But looking at it now, yeah, it actually does look like Sonic's wearing a vest. And I wasn't the only person that thought that way either. What did Sonic actually wear? A scarf. He wears a scarf in the Sonic Boom series, which I completely forgot about because Sonic Boom sucks. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you right now, Knuckles does not appear. The one appearance he does have is meaningless, like Shadow's appearance. But at least Shadow doesn't appear on the cover of almost every single one of these comics. Sonic does, for a reason. He actually exists. Let's just get into the very interesting comics of Puzzle and Meanon. Luckily, I have just about every comic, I think. I won't be talking about all of them, but I do have the first comic. It's called Falcon Punch. Isn't that something we've heard before? In this one, this is Puzzle on the lookout for a door. There's a sign on the door that specifically talks to Puzzle. Whoever's behind that sign and maybe the door knows that Puzzle is looking for the door, or they know Puzzle. Maybe they live in the neighborhood that Puzzle lives in. It's not really clear because it never gets brought up again, which isn't that surprising because as we will get into this comic series, there isn't much canon here. Things happen and it's a little excusable because that's part of the comic. Not really explicitly, but you can just tell. Puzzle says he's found the secret hideout for, I guess, this Falcon glove? The glove of Captain Falcon, which as you can tell looks nothing like Captain Falcon's glove. I never really learned how to draw a Captain Falcon. And I think that's Meanon looking at the glove, guarding it. And there's Puzzle. And as far as we know, Meanon just gets knocked out from behind by a baseball bat, maybe. Just knocked out cold. The only reason why Puzzle now has the glove. And he gives the glove to Tails. Tails with no ears. Tails will never have ears. Tails, what are you doing here? Why are you getting this glove? Oh. Is that... Did Tails just turn to Tails now? What's going on? Falcon Punch. Half of the planet is annihilated. A giant fist-sized explosion happens. Puzzle is decapitated, explicitly dead, gone. He's just dead. The main character is dead, fucking Metroid comic style. We're at Sonic's house, clearly based off of the house in Sonic Battle, and Sonic's watching TV. Tails doll was at Sonic's door, with Puzzle's head very explicitly dead. Sonic freaking out, justifiably. Knuckles is there. Tails doesn't know what anybody's talking about. The end of the story. Everything's fine. That was some story, wasn't it? Very extreme. For the first comic of a comic series is a lot to take in. Especially considering we do not see Tails again. Tails turns into Tails doll, turns his back like nothing happened, and to top it off, he doesn't appear again. And as you may or may not assume, in the next comic, nothing to do with the previous comic happens. Everybody's fine. For all we know, Sonic didn't get delivered a decapitated head by who may or may not have been his friend of who knows how long. Maybe the entire comic just didn't happen. We're on a new comic now. Everybody's fine. We're on Super Saiyan now. Where Plusle learns that he has the genes of a Saiyan and just goes Super Saiyan. Mina sees him and he's like, whoa, what the fuck? Sonic's here, watching TV like usual, and his door gets smashed out. Sonic is flabbergasted at Super Saiyan Plusle. Super Saiyan Plusle looking devious, by the way. Holy hedgehog, Sonic says. Plusle's like, let's do it. Let's go at it. Right? Actually, Sonic's having none of that. He goes Super Sonic, like that. Oh, whoa, gotta go. Plusle leaves like the coward he is. Pikachu has got Super Saiyan. Why? Who knows? Maybe Goku himself has come to the town and shared his wisdom of Super Saiyanness with the town. And Mina, you wouldn't be able to tell. That's Plusle. That's Mina. Mina is wondering, I wonder where Plusle is. And then we just cut to a completely different scene. Fucking Tails doll is here. I legitimately forgot he was in this comic. Tails doll is friending Knuckles, I assume, with an energy ball. Shadow's there. I will obliterate you. Obliterate is spelled wrong, by the way. Blast, assumably Knuckles and Shadow, and the Earth is blown in half again. For 2 comics in a row. The next comic, Plusle's Adventure. Plusle has a fucking sword. Who gave him this? Who knows? I certainly didn't care. Someone gave this gremlin a fucking sword, and he is going to wreak havoc on the citizens of Whateverville. At Sonic's house, which looks completely different now, Sonic is clearly absolutely exhausted from watching TV all day. He is exhausted. You can see the bags in his eyes. He's gotta rest up for the next day. Nah, get your door smashed again. Plusle with a sword is at Sonic's door. What the butt, Plusle? Sorry, Sonic, but I'm on an adventure. Sonic is done. Adventure? Yeah. Mina is looking for Plusle. Sonic says he's right here. Mina is maybe embarrassed about this. Do you want to join my adventure? No. And Plusle sat. The end. Next comic that we're going to address is the Chucky comic that I briefly mentioned earlier, where we get to formally meet Chucky, the creature. We see his house, we see him sleep, looks like he's got a flower pattern on his pillow. He gets a knock at his door. Chucky opens the door and it's Mina. What do you want? Hi, Mina. Plusle, you gotta help me here. Plusle's just being Plusle. And Chucky slams the door shut. And then we get this panel that normally says, I didn't have enough ideas to fill out all of these squares, so I'm just gonna put this random image here. I've done it multiple times since, I swear to you. And there's a bonus down here that I have done before. I used to do this sometimes. Under the bonus there is a potential comic idea. Mystery Pokemon? And you see Minon, Puzzle, and a mysterious silhouette. Who could it possibly be? I don't know if this was at the same time, but there is a drawing that I made that had the idea. It was going to be called D and P. And presumably, the new Pokemon, quote unquote, would be named the video. As in, like, divide. Like, plus, minus, plus, or it'll be that kind of thing. Even back then, there are seemingly just ideas that didn't work out. And some that didn't even make it to an actual comic. Now, this is volume 2 of Puzzle and Minon comics. You may or may not have seen the volume things on the Anime Land comics. I don't remember if I addressed them, but they don't really mean anything. They don't matter. They never matter, because there's just not enough comics to put new volume numbers on. This comic is volume number 5, despite being the 10th comic, period. So yeah, I'm ignoring them for the rest of this video. Except for these comics in this comic series, because I have them organized in a first section and a second section, and a few comics that just aren't stapled together, so I guess I can call those volume 3. These are organized in the way that you could call separate volumes. So, to kick off volume 2, we are introducing none other than Goku. What do you know? Goku is here.
Look at the top of his head!
And there's also, it might be hard to tell, but that's supposed to be Raichu. Did Pikachu evolve? Oh, well, you'll never know, because he's never seen in any of these comics. And if he does show up later, he's not Raichu.
Ooh, a bomb. Ooh, do you wish?
Speaking of dying, in this comic where Goku is introduced, Kamehameha practice, Puzzle notices that Goku is practicing his Kamehameha. Puzzle is amazed by this, and Mina's there, and he's like, "What are you doing?" "You just did a Kamehameha." And Mina's like, "Oh, what?" Gets blasted. Head gone. And you will not believe this. You will not believe it. Goku is running off. He's fleeing the scene. Puzzle is so gobsmacked. He's like, I just saw someone die. What the fuck? And Goku is running off. He's running away. You'll never catch me alive looking ass. And that's the end of the comic. And guess what? Minon comes back in the next comic like nothing ever happened, because nothing matters in here. Nothing here matters. In this comic, where Minon gets a job, right? He's getting a job. He's got the tie. The title of this comic is "Get a Job, Minon. Get a fucking job, bro. Go outside. File the fucking application, bro. Get out of here." Puzzle isn't saying this. He doesn't care. As you can see, Puzzle's just vibing. Minon leaves this void of a room. Puzzle disappears. Appears in front of Minon. "Where are you going?" "I'm trying to get hired."
For what?
"A job." "A job? Jobs are awesome. What do you know about jobs?" "Look, I'm late. See you later." And later he will see him, because he gets to wherever he is, and he's like, "Okay, boss, I'm..." "Yes?" "Listen," in a mustache disguise. I made a sequel to this. One of the more recent Puzzle Minon comics. I think it's the last one, actually. Get a Job, Minon 2. Puzzle? What are you doing here? You're not my boss.
Yes, I am. Now if you excuse me,
I must wait. This is a delightful cup of... You dare destroy my coffee? They get into a fight, a little cat fight, and the wheel boss walks in, and it's Zork, a character that has actually been appearing in quite a few of these covers. Maybe I was like, oh, hey, Zork, maybe I can actually use him. Maybe he'll be the boss. But at least every character's appeared at least once, you know. Whether or not they had any significance to the story area. Zork? You're the owner of Zork Industries? It sounds pretty obvious. And you're fired. Minon is, of course, devastated that Puzzle ruined his job opportunity. Puzzle, not the one looking for a job, is just glad he still has his mustache. Cause he really likes the Luigi mustache, I guess. Early 2010s meme culture and the comic ants. Now, while that is the last Puzzle and Minon comic, for now, there is one other comic that is very controversial, and it is Puzzle Gets a Plane. Puzzle gets a plane. God knows how he acquired it, and he ends up crashing into the Empire State Building. Viewers that are watching this particular segment, this specific minute of video, did you know that a plane crashed into the Empire State Building? A real plane that crashed into the real Empire State Building? Did you know that? I didn't. I didn't know that when I made this comic about 10 years ago. All I knew was that a plane crashed into the Twin Towers.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
I totally didn't mistake the Twin Towers for the Empire State Building. I didn't do that at all. And when I was making this comic, I shit you not, a friend of mine did not tell me about how his father was involved in the 9/11 terrorist attacks. I don't remember if he left or not. That wasn't a thing that happened. He didn't tell me that it would be really fucking sus. If you put the Twin Towers in this comic, you look really bad. He didn't tell me that. And I almost certainly did not rename this comic 11/9 a couple years after that thing. None of that happened. This comic was not a 9/11 joke, I swear. Anyway, Puzzle crashes into the Empire State Building, breaks it in half like a fucking Kit Kat bar. Apparently they live in New York City, or wherever the Empire State Building is. And apparently the Empire State Building is around houses. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it's not. In this universe, apparently it is, because that top half crashes into Puzzle and Minon's house. Puzzle is shell-shocked, as anyone who has crashed a plane into a building accidentally probably would be, especially if it was the Empire State Building. Puzzle is confronted by Minon about this, and it turns out you destroyed our house. No, I didn't. Puzzle gets punched by Minon, because, like, you know, I gotta say, justified clash out. Like, I gotta say, I'm lucky to be alive. You're lucky to be alive. Because of me. I could kill you right now, where you stand, because of all this bullshit. And, someone yells behind Minon, "Who destroyed the Empire State Building?" And the comic ends just like that. Never to be spoken of again. Never to be addressed again. None of this happened. I did not make a 9/11 joke. And everything's perfectly fine. It was all conspiracy. This entire comic never happened. Right? Stays between you and me. And you're not gonna tell anyone that this existed. Puzzle did not do 9/11, okay? We good? We good. Finally, the moment that I've been waiting for. My first and lengthiest comic series. Patrick Comics. This is my most favorite comic series. My favorite media of all time at the time were SpongeBob SquarePants and Sonic the Hedgehog. Both franchises were in their dark ages, I think. This wasn't my intention, but what if we take these two dwindling franchises and make them fight to the death? And let's add some Dragon Ball Z powers into it, but we'll get to that later. Considering this is the oldest comic series that I have, there will be several comics missing. But, luckily for you, I know almost all of what I was trying to do. So the canon is intact, most of the time. This is my lore, so technically I could just do whatever I want, but I'm very principled. I'm a very principled person. The canon that I made is the canon that I made. Not all of it is staying, of course, but I'll explain what is canon. After all of this, there are stories that I won't talk about that just aren't canon. And there are stories that I will talk about that still might not be canon. Like I said, we'll sell that after all of this. Speaking of canon, that starts with the first comic that I don't have. There is a third comic that I still have. The first two comics are missing. The first comic that I do have is titled Sonic Comics Part 3. Now, because I haven't thought about exactly what happened for several years, let's say Patrick and Sonic were, what justifies what's about to happen? Patrick and Sonic were gonna go on a business venture, and Patrick didn't agree with Sonic's idea. You'll see what I actually had in mind later. My idea right now is Patrick and Sonic were gonna go on a business venture, and Patrick didn't agree with it in some way. He said like, no, I think your plan's stupid. And Sonic crashes out. How much does he crash out? Well, we see SpongeBob here knocking at Patrick's house, and Patrick's not there. Where is Patrick? Well, he's at Sonic's house, strapped to a fucking wall, and he is getting tortured. He's getting shocked. Why? Well, because I'm not sure what exactly this is. If this is a bit, if this is a trend, if this is some kind of normal, I don't know. But Sonic is the crash out king in this comic series, okay? Why exactly? I'm really not sure, okay? Just keep that in mind. SpongeBob is walking around. He doesn't get why Patrick isn't at his house, because as you know, Patrick is either wandering Bikini Bottom. I don't know if this is Bikini Bottom, okay? The location of Patrick Comics is buttfuck nowhere in the middle of who knows on the planet, I guess Earth. Wherever character you see, just throw any previous knowledge you have out the window, okay? That's probably what I did when I was making these comics. An hour later, I surprisingly got the grammar right. We see Sonic's house. Why does it look like that? I'm not sure. I just couldn't help myself with drawing extra hair on these characters. I could not fucking help myself, okay? I still like drawing hair now, but it's in an organized way. It's in an organized, orderly way that makes sense and doesn't clash horrifically with the rest of the drawing. It's not this, and this isn't even hair. We see Patrick waking up from being shot, maybe. SpongeBob is at Sonic's house. Sonic apparently left the door unlocked. SpongeBob steps in and he sees Patrick. Patrick's somewhat fine, I guess. Sonic comes back into the room, the torture room, and he's like, what's going on here? You're not supposed to be here. And Patrick goes demon mode, okay? I don't just mean, demon mode. The next comic, the one right after this one, is very literal. Patrick breaks out of the restraints. "You're dead, Sonic." Sonic, understandably, runs away, and Patrick races after. SpongeBob, horrendously colored, says, "Go, Patrick." Will Patrick destroy Sonic? Is SpongeBob gonna follow Patrick? Find out on Patrick Comics. Next, Volume 1 finale. What happens in the finale of Volume 1? Well, Sonic's house fucking explodes. Here's another thing. There are explosions all over this comic, okay? Is it because SpongeBob had random explosions? Maybe. I was like, I should know this. I'm gonna look anyway. I forget every time. These first two comics come from my second grade English book or something. I did some research on myself. By that I mean I looked in the several folders I have sitting in an organizer right to the left of me. I was like 7 while I was making these comics, so I had to have seen some SpongeBob, but I don't know. Maybe I saw the explosions in SpongeBob and thought that's like funny or something. So the entire series has explosions and shit in it. Not in every single comic, but it's common enough. Sonic's house explodes. How? Like, I don't know. Patrick manifested it. So Sonic is, of course, devastated by this, I guess. And Patrick is absolutely, he is absolutely fuming, okay? and Sonic is doing the face of all time, okay? He is speechless. One of my greatest drawings ever. What is that? What is this? Nah. This is the Mona Lisa of 2012, okay? This is peak art. Sonic is held up by Patrick with one hand, and we can assume he is dead. We can assume that, okay? SpongeBob arrives and sees Patrick, and Patrick is a little off. Patrick says, "There is no Patrick, only Zero." Oh no, Patrick gone evil. I gotta get Tails. Shit grammar aside, that is Volume 1. We somewhat introduce Patrick, SpongeBob, Sonic, and Tails. Almost. About that demon thing, I don't know if it's connected. I don't know for sure, but I have drawn Zeron before. Years after this, he is in fact an ancient evil kind of thing, you know. Yeah, right? In the comic, it is never brought up ever again. He is not named, he is not brought up, he just occasionally in the comic, Patrick just goes demon mode when he's in like a hell of a pinch, okay? He maybe involuntarily goes a demon mode and just kills. He just fucking kills. But the name of the demon that is possessing him does not come up, which is why I don't know if I drew the demon that possesses Patrick or I just drew a demon. Cause I do like drawing demons a lot. I do have another teaser thing at the bottom of this comic as well. Is SpongeBob gonna survive? Will Patrick turn good again? Find out on Patrick Comics. You can tell I was a big fan of Saturday morning cartoons, chiefly Dragon Ball Z Kai Vortex. Let's have a moment of silence for Vortex, please. Here we are in Volume 2. Patrick is naked for some reason. Yeah, I bothered to color this, and Patrick is apparently naked. Knuckles is here. Patrick's watching SpongeBob on TV, I guess. And Sonic's dead. Or is he? Sonic, in some kind of resurrection ritual a la Gil or something, he goes into his Darkspine form. The title of this comic, by the way, is Darkspine Sonic. There's also Tails, who was mentioned in the last comic, who looks fucking abysmal. You'll see plenty of abysmal designs in this comic series, I promise you. My drawing will improve throughout this comic series, okay? It'll get better than whatever the fuck this is. Tails will not look like this in his next appearance. So, we see Darkspine Sonic. He's gunning for Patrick's house. Patrick's house, doing its Patrick's house thing of having its antenna fall off, per usual. And Darkspine Sonic decides to blow up Patrick's house. He uses his Darkspine powers to... I gotta find more words for explosions. He detonates the house. When I say he decides, I mean he decides to make Patrick's house explode. Like he's God or something. Or Gil. Patrick is of course peeved by this. And once he sees Darkspine Sonic, he's like, oh shit. To put it lightly, Knuckles, who might have been hiding in that same house, questions where Patrick is. And I guess he sees Darkspine Sonic, and he's like, oh shit, Patrick got or something. Why was he there? Maybe because he saw Sonic was dead, and he was like, let's see what this Patrick guy's doing. I don't know. And we have another bonus thing here. We see Spider-Pat, Knuckles, and Super Shadow. Two of them will be relevant in the future. And here we see Sonic and Shadow's first appearance. Sonic Comics, Part 1, I assume. This next comic is significant because, well, remember the Darkspine Sonic comic that we just went through? I'm sure you remember. I'm not sure if it's canon, because either Sonic goes Darkspine and gets Patrick, or this comic happens. 7 Emeralds or 7 Patricks is elaborated on, as you'll see. In this comic, we see Super Sonic and Super Shadow. They, not just Sonic this time, they are gunning for Patrick. Or at least, they divide and conquer. Shadow is going for Patrick. He runs straight into Patrick's house. Patrick seemingly doesn't care because I guess he doesn't have beef with Shadow. Shadow punches Patrick into space. Patrick is gone. Sonic is coming for SpongeBob because I guess SpongeBob foiled his plan of torturing Patrick until he agrees with his business venture or whatever the fuck. And Sonic punches SpongeBob into space. Patrick and SpongeBob have been punched coincidentally directly onto another planet where there's a bunch of Patricks on it. SpongeBob has the most genius plan, as you can see. It is Patrick time. So, 1 minute later, we see Shadow chilling. These panels are out of order, by the way. I don't know why they're like this. He in particular, for some reason, not Sonic, is confronted by 7 Patricks, and he gets strapped to a fucking rocket, and I guess sent to space as payback, just as I planned. Sonic's wondering where Shadow is, and they just, for all we know, they don't follow up with Sonic. Sonic's just wondering where Shadow is. Oh boy, you want me to tell you about one of the craziest things I've ever drawn? You wanna see this? Okay. Out of nowhere. Sandy versus Amy. You will not believe how this starts. Sandy sees Amy. Yeah, that's Amy. Why is she wearing a shirt instead of a dress? Where's her headband? Why does she look like that? I don't know. She just looks like that. She just does. And she will for the rest of the series. That's it. That's it. In fact, forget the shirt. Forget the shirt for whatever reason. She'll get back. But I forget she has a shirt. Somehow. I just don't draw it. I just don't draw it. Anyway. Sandy sees Amy talking to SpongeBob. And because we're going with the Sand Bob ship, Sandy gets jealous at Amy. Sandy's just like that. She's jealous at Amy for even breathing on SpongeBob, okay? Amy? Whatever, okay? Let's go. Let's go. Amy goes super. Sandy goes Super Saiyan. Breaks her fucking, a helmet? Does she call it a helmet? I don't know. It doesn't matter. We are going in RPG mode. Sandy's turn. She throws an energy blast at Amy. And Amy has, a shield? She just has a shield that shoots lasers. And it doesn't work. Sandy's beam goes over and hits Amy. Amy's turn. Amy has a fucking grenade launcher the size of a fucking small tree. Who fucking knows where Amy gets these fucking weapons? What hammer? Amy has a hammer? Like, can't I just draw her holding a giant rocket launcher that shoots bombs? That sounds cool. So, Sandy just stands there and tanks the hit, I guess, because she's just built different. And 4 hours later, four fucking hours. They've been at this for 4 hours. And now, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking when I was doing this entire comic. Amy gets her boyfriend, because I guess they got along in this universe. I don't think it's ever brought up again. I don't even know what context this is. They might not be a thing. I don't know. Sandy gets Patrick instead of SpongeBob, but Amy gets Sonic. And you'll never fucking believe this.
You want me to what?
What? They want Patrick and Sonic to fight on behalf of them. Amy and... Okay, actually, I think I forgot what I was doing while making this comic. Oh my fucking god. So, okay, Sandy wants Patrick to destroy Amy, okay? Amy wants Sonic to destroy Sandy. That doesn't happen. It looks like Patrick and Sonic are fighting each other. But we haven't gotten there yet. They have to be motivated to fight each other in the first place. Aren't they supposed to... Weren't Sandy and Amy battling each other? What happened to that? Don't worry about it. That's not the plot anymore. I'm going fucking insane.
Patrick's like, who's Amy?
Amy is just as unhinged as Sonic is, clearly. In this universe, they're meant for each other. If they aren't a couple, they deserve to be. Amy is, as you can see, in her Darkspine form, and when Sonic says, no way, because I guess he's in a clearer state of mind, Amy says, fuck you, and turns Sonic Darkspine. And even then, when Patrick goes Super Saiyan and says, let's dance, Sonic is just like, okay. Patrick's like, no, I mean Wumble. Fucking big comedy. Oh my god. And Shadow's here. Shadow's like the voice of reason. Not so fast. I'm stopping this fight once and for, and he gets shot. He gets fucking shot. Someone busts a cap on Shadow, bro. He's fucking dead. And who shot him? Amy. Amy was not having this. Patrick and Sonic were fighting. Or Sonic was killing Sandy. Okay, no matter what, this was going down.
Just wait a minute.
Patrick shoots Amy with his own gun. People, you will not find something like this anywhere else. I can tell you, no matter how many people watch this, you have never, in any of your thoughts you have had since you were born, conceived of an event like this comic. Ever. And we're still not done. Sonic goes super and punches Patrick into space, like Shadow did. The end. But 7 emeralds or 7 Patricks is in some way elaborated on, because Patrick gets punched yet again onto Patrick Planet. This is the last colored comic, and even then it's not even, I gave up immediately. Patrick drifts into Patrick Planet. This is surprisingly coherent, okay? It is required for the lore. We get some serious revelations in this comic. Patrick sees this planet filled with Patricks as far as the eye can see. Maybe. Probably. He says, "You're not wearing clothes. Number 55. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be on Earth." So, with this one line, okay, I sound like fucking Comics Explained, and we're talking about a comic made by a fucking 8-year-old or something that has Patrick Star and Sonic the Hedgehog in it, and we're talking about it seriously. From this one line, we can tell that some serious information has been dropped, okay? Serious. Patrick is number 55. Who knows who all these other Patricks are? Are they all Patrick? Are they starfishes? Are they aliens? Are they all Patrick? Or are they all referred to by number? Or are they referred to by number because all their names are Patrick? Never elaborated upon, but what we do know is Patrick is number 55, and he's supposed to be on Earth. And we do see this character again. We'll call him Captain Patrick for now. And Patrick replies, "Yeah, this hedgehog got me back here." What is Patrick's purpose of being on Earth? Again, significant comic, but it's not elaborated upon much. There's a lot of serious potential, but it's not picked up. I don't know if we're breaking the fourth wall here, but Sonic says, "It's Sonic, idiot," as if he can hear Patrick from God knows how many fucking miles. Through fucking space, he can hear Patrick uttering his fucking species. And Sonic's like, hey, whoa, what was that, huh? Patrick's like, "You wanna fight?" And Sonic Sonic's right there. How is Sonic here? Who knows? And Sonic, in his most level composure, says, I can kill you if you want to die. Patrick just shoots him, and the issue's over with. Patrick doesn't have a gun for the rest of the series. Well, not a pistol. Not an L-shaped, ambiguously featured pistol. So, Patrick is stranded on Patrick Planet, or so we think. Clearly, this is Patrick's home, I guess. How did he get to Earth? We don't know for sure, but Captain Patrick has Patrick in a launcher and shoots him back down to Earth. Ignore the scale and how Earth looks like a fucking chess ball. Ignore that, ignore everything. Here's Shadow's house, and Patrick has landed on Shadow's couch. Shadow's alive, despite being assumably shot dead by Amy on the other side of the fucking page. So wasn't that just random as shit? Yeah. Yes, it was. The next comic that we're talking about, though, is quite possibly the most significant storyline that's taken place in the series. Before we get to that, though, there's this old drawing that I have that has Crazy Amy on it. And I know what this is. It's based off an animation that I used to watch multiple times on YouTube, like, not even 10 years ago. This is like, 2012, 2013. Old animation, okay? It was an animation of Amy being crazy, you know, and she might have looked like this. I want to know if any of you have seen this animation. If this jogs any memories, let me know. I'm very interested to see that animation again. Anyway, back to history being made in the Patrick Comics universe. This storyline, written by me and drawn by me, yeah, we're doing this, is titled Tailstone. I'm really sorry about this, but can I tell y'all about how obsessed with Tailstone I was? As a kid, I was obsessed with horror, like internet horror, like creepypastas. I even had a feeling that some of them were real. I believed in some way that the SCP Foundation was real, okay? Can you imagine the effect that would have on a kid? I was terrified. But at some point, I realized I was fucking retarded to believe any of this shit was actually real. I'm normal now. Somewhat. I stopped believing in Tailstone sooner. But I was obsessed with Tailstone in particular. I guess because, you know, it's Sonic and it's Tails. I might have been obsessed with Tails too. For some reason, I was obsessed with Tails. We got Tails, right? Your normal, average, everyday Tails. Then we have Tails' second form. There's Tails' father. And we're going back to Tailstone, right? There's Tailstone. Tailstone second form. Tailstone third form. And we're going back to Tails again. There's Tails full power. Whoa. I don't know what my deal was. I don't know. Tails just looked cool, I guess. I have a fucking Tailstone transformation drawing. Okay, I have a Tails to Tailstone transformation comic, bro. I was fucking obsessed with Tailstone. It's crazy. There's this Tailstone reimagining where I make him into an anime boy. Check this shit out. What is this? What the fuck is this? What was I cooking? What was this gonna be? Listen, I've drawn anime boys before. I can do that. But Tailstone? Tailstone anime boy? Nah, boy. Let's keep them separate. So, how about Tailstone in the Patrick Comics universe? What happened there? Well, we see Patrick and SpongeBob playing Spider-Man. And Squidward's here for his only appearance ever. Oh, let me guess. Spider-Man. Yup, absolutely. Then we see Plankton. His only appearance. Oh, well, not his only appearance, but his only of 2 appearances that I still have. And he says, "Go forth, perfect one." It's Tails though. Why? I don't know. Maybe he's competing with Tails, who has barely appeared yet on I don't even know. How he built Tails doll will become more and more bullshit as this goes on. But in this universe, Plankton created Tails doll. And Tails doll is gonna proceed to fuck up everyone's day. Case 1, okay? Patrick. "Hi, Tails. You look different." Tails doll looking fucking evil, okay? Evil, okay? Who knows what happens to Patrick? Shadow playing the video game free. Tails doll appears on. Tails doll jumps out of the fucking video game free handheld edition. Who knows what happens to Shadow? Knuckles doll free. Unlike Tails doll, we don't have nearly enough to understand what's happening here. This is the only comic of the Knuckles doll series that I have. I made a 4 that was made on a fucking card, like those The Opinion of Spider-Boy cards. So let's just say that Knuckles doll may or may not have been created by Plankton. Knuckles doll exists, kidnaps Sonic and Plankton. So Patrick, either for Sonic's sake or both of their sakes, decides to get Sonic and maybe Plankton back. SpongeBob too. Later at Pat's Rock, Patrick and SpongeBob are jamming out, okay? They're getting ready. Patrick's got a thing gun. SpongeBob has the same thing. Mission: destroy Knuckles doll. Yeah. Sonic sees that Patrick has come to save him. Patrick and SpongeBob. Order Knuckles doll killers. You came. Really, Patrick? What? When it comes to this, you gotta have us fucking what? Whoa. Patrick, whoa. Hold on a second here. Slow down, man. You can't say CP. I know this is like 12 years ago, 11 years ago or something. But, like, whoa. You can't just say CP. What are you talking about? What are you trying to say? Plankton has my same sentiment, okay? As you can see. Catchphrase. Patrick, listen to me, okay? Not a soul abbreviates catchphrase. And if they do, I don't know if they're saying C fucking P, Patrick. I had plenty of space to say catchphrase, bro. Fit it in, alright? Try, okay? What are you doing here? Knuckles doll thinks they think they can kill me. Try it, bro. Try me, okay? I'm just gonna sit here and watch you kill me. Nothing's gonna happen. Gets his head blown off. That's it. That's the end of Knuckles doll. We don't have to think about him or Knuckles again, because y'all knows he does not get blown up again, I promise you. We'll get back to the insane power level of Tails doll, okay? But first, we gotta talk about the first appearance of Vegeta. Let's talk about that. Vegeta is fighting, who might be Broly? Apparently, I don't even know. Maybe the question mark is for any semblance of suspense. But Vegeta is fighting maybe Broly. They're having a duel. Vegeta does his Alec gun. Broly does his Omega Blaster. Those attacks collide so hard that it shoots a fucking beacon at Patrick Planet. Blows it up. Patrick Planet gets blown up a lot. Kind of a running joke. Why? Because I like blowing things up.
Did somebody say boom?
Vegeta and Broly have another standoff. Broly, Vegeta? Broly? I can't tell at this point. They're doing their thing. Broly loses the, beam struggle. And Vegeta's looking pretty proud of himself. So we see Goku looking similarly awful. Fucking awful. Okay. Awful. Goku's watching SpongeBob SquarePants. And he sees Vegeta. We don't even get the end here. It's just one of the mill battle comic that I've actually done multiple times. There are better battle comics than this one that we will talk about. I'm just letting you know Goku and Vegeta exist. Patrick Man. Would you look at that? As you may or may not know, there was a new episode of SpongeBob SquarePants called Patrick Man. As you can see, I thought about doing a comic around Patrick Man. It has nothing to do with the episode. Patrick Man's just here. Patrick decides to be Patrick Man. SpongeBob is watching Who Even Knows, and he's wondering what Patrick's doing. And Gary meows, I guess because I don't know. Also, this is Gary's only appearance because what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What is Gary gonna do? While Goku and Vegeta are fighting Broly, and Patrick is dealing with Sonic's crazy ass. What is Gary gonna do? Why is he even here?
If I'm gonna be a hero, I'm gonna need a sidekick.
As you can see, this was during a time when the sidekicks were still a thing. There's your little comics commentary for the minute. Hi, Patrick. Where are Patrick and SpongeBob right now? Are they at SpongeBob's house? Was Patrick sat here thinking this while in SpongeBob's house? I don't know. Patrick's like, do you want to be my sidekick? SpongeBob's like, sure. And so, we go to Patrick Man Part 2. So, in Part 2, we see SpongeBob being confirmed as Krabby Man. I don't think Krabby Man was in the Patrick Man episode.
Now we can stop evildoers.
And so they do in the Pat Cave. SpongeBob is sitting in front of a radar that detects crime, I guess. Patrick, I found a bad guy.
Where?
The ping says Broly. Okay. Considering that we're dealing with Broly, considering that, what do you think they're gonna do? Patrick and SpongeBob arrive at the scene. Broly sees him. Broly fires a blast at him. What is SpongeBob gonna do? What is he gonna do? What is SpongeBob SquarePants going to do against the devil, Broly? SpongeBob, for whatever reason, has a Krabby Patty, and he uses it to deflect Broly's blast. Broly gets hit with his own beam and is defeated, never to be heard from again. While they celebrate their victory, however bullshit it is, fucking Batman breaks the fourth wall and calls out Patrick for parodying the show that has a bat cave. I don't know if it's the 66 show, I haven't watched it. Batman just gets shooed away with the offer of a Krabby Patty. Does he take the Krabby Patty? Who knows? The comic ends. Now, we have another part 1, part 2 comic here. And it is fucking insane. But this time it's a slow burn, okay? I promise you're not gonna guess the ending to this comic. The title of this comic is Creeper Chaos. Minecraft Edition, Petra Comics, Creeper Chaos Part 1. In Part 1, we see the Creeper King with wings. Pretty ineffectual looking wings. And we see Patrick on something. The Creeper King is holding a meeting for something. Like, listen to this. Settle down. I have a new target. His name is Patrick. He has decided on this day of the week that they're just killing Patrick. We're killing this nigga, okay? We need him gone. He's just gotta go. How do we defeat him? I don't know yet. And then we have the Creeper Queen. In her only appearance in this fucking comic. She isn't in part 2. She is here to move the story. And she says, why don't we explode his house?
What a brilliant idea.
So, they send one of their creeper minions to Patrick's house. One of their giant fucking creepers. Explodes in front of Patrick's house. And he's like,
hey, who exploded my house?
I'm not sure if this is the proper grammar for it, but he says that, and the creeper is apparently still there. I'm honestly not sure. I don't know. Maybe he is still there because of what we see in part 2. The Creeper King's plan is almost complete. I guess he doesn't know if he killed Patrick. Let's send the Creeper to blow up Patrick's house. Not Patrick, Patrick's house. Okay? And then we'll send another one to blow up Patrick. This is a nuke-proof plan, okay? It's perfect. SpongeBob's here. But he's here for a reason, okay? He's here so I can have the shittiest transition, okay? Part 2. We aren't at SpongeBob's house. We're at Patrick's. We're at the property that used to be Patrick's house. The TV's still working, I guess. So, we see the news sometime later, just in. Creeper King. Why is that on the news? I don't know if y'all are asking any of these questions, but like, I'm asking them to myself. So I can have some kind of idea at all, like, any of this could be happening. You've seen, right? You're watching the video, I hope. You're seeing how paper thin these stories are. For almost as thin as the paper they were drawn on, okay?
Hey, I know that guy. He's the one who destroyed my house.
We see SpongeBob's house. The Creeper King is in SpongeBob's vent. Somehow, we see a Whistle and Mean Nun cameo. How about that? Neat. For me, myself, and I. Pretty neat for myself. I hope Pat doesn't know. SpongeBob! Patrick breaking through SpongeBob's wall instead of opening the front door, as he sometimes does in the show. One of the very few things that is accurate to the show in this series. Accurate to any source material. Patrick tells SpongeBob about the creeper that destroyed his house. SpongeBob says what it doesn't look like. Patrick has a fucking picture. Apparently the creeper was still there, did nothing else, for enough time that Patrick pulled out a fucking Polaroid and took a picture of it. And the Creeper King doesn't go through the hole in the wall that Patrick made. No. Makes his own hole. Patrick and SpongeBob see Twilight fucking Sparkle. I know none of y'all thought Twilight Sparkle was gonna be in this video. I know damn well that was not a thought in your mind. Huh. What the fuck is Twilight Sparkle doing here? Why was she Creeper King? Did the Creeper Queen know about this? There's an entire Creeper society? Is there a real Creeper King? How long was Twilight Sparkle going through with this? Does any of this matter for the rest of the series? I can tell you one thing. There's not a single Creeper in the rest of the series. Who knows why Twilight did any of this? She acknowledges that her disguise wore off. What was she gonna do? What was she gonna do to Patrick? Why? The logistics of this. A kid made this, right? I made this when I was a child. In 3rd or 4th grade, let's say, okay? It's somewhat simple enough, but at the same time, this revelation brings up so many questions. Why was Twilight Sparkle disguised as the Creeper King to hunt down Patrick? Why? There's no way in hell you bring up not only creepers, an entire creeper, maybe caste system. There's a Creeper King, a Creeper Queen, a bunch of creepers. God knows where on this earth, okay? Twilight was there in place of the Creeper King. Why was Twilight... What? Fucking what? You could make a comic explaining how all of this transpired. You could do that. You could explain all the whys. Not on one page of comic, alright? That's not even one page. That's multiple fucking pages, okay? Will I do that? I don't know. It's not even a note because it's so fucking interesting that I might actually look into it. SpongeBob rides her like a fucking cowboy. We haven't taken enough drugs yet, okay? Let's have SpongeBob ride Twilight like a fucking cowboy, okay? Have him ride right through his own wall, okay? Off into the sunset. And Vegeta's fucking here. Vegeta has materialized beside Patrick. And he's asking what any normal person would ask. Am I hallucinating? Patrick says yeah. Yeah, you're hallucinating. You're hallucinating. This comic goes from simple plot, whatever, what's gonna happen today, to drug trip. Let's write a bunch of random shit on the wall and put it together. And now, finally, we come back to sense. Somewhat. Tales Doll 3, Part 2. Luckily, we have the rest of the parts, but we don't have Part 1 of Tales Doll 3, unfortunately. Forget Tales Doll 2. Tales Doll 3 starts off with Patrick, Tales Doll, and Finn as standoff. Finn the human is here. Tales Doll is apparently at disadvantage, okay? But Tales Doll decides to go into their second form. Remember their second form, guys? Their second form that we talked about like 20 minutes ago. Tales Doll goes into Form 2 and looks more like Tails now. Did Plankton program this shit? I don't know. And speaking of Tails, Tails is here. Tails is here. He gets fucking blasted. He dies. He is dead. Explicitly, he's gone. This is a canon event, if you will. Patrick, angry, goes Super Saiyan. Sonic's there too. Everybody's fighting the Tails Doll right now. The big players are here. Almost all of them. One of them's just chilling, as you'll see soon. Very soon. Sonic is in his Fleetway form because he's incensed. Finn goes in for a sword dive, okay, a diving slice. He gets blasted like that. He's dead. Shit's going down. Patrick seemingly goes demon mode, seemingly, and he goes Super Saiyan 3, fires a blast, fires a fucking death beam, okay? Tails, though, dodges that shit. It's still going. Where's it going? At Amy's house. Goku and Amy are playing Go Fish while the end of the world is happening outside, okay? Maybe they don't know, okay? Maybe they don't know. Goku doesn't feel Tailsaw's power level, okay? Amy doesn't have any H's. The beam hits the house and kills both of them. Probably, seemingly, both of them. Sonic is powering up, and we don't see anything come out of it. The Master Emerald makes its first appearance. It's manifesting a message. Trouble is in our way. What does that mean? Who knows? Maybe it's talking about Tailsaw. Maybe it senses the potential of Tailsaw. Where's Knuckles? I don't know. Tailsaw free, part 3. Is Patrick actually demon mode? It isn't clear. But he is still Super Saiyan 3. What does he do with that Super Saiyan freeness? Nothing. Apparently, Sonic was doing a Chaos Blast. Tailsaw blows a blast at Patrick, and we see another Patrick teleport in and save Patrick, throwing his own blast at Tailsaw. And this character is not named, so let's just call him number 32. Oh yeah, about that blast at number 32 for Tailsaw. The beams collided and caused an explosion. Apparently, at a house. Apparently, this was all taking place in a house. I don't know. I really don't know. Number 32 and Tailsaw engage in battle in the air, like in Dragon Ball Z. You know, number 32 wins, and because Tailsaw is at another disadvantage, clearly, Tailsaw goes into their third form. Tailsaw turns into the fucking devil because they're so evil. So number 32 and number 55 decide to do a fusion dance and fuse into number 87.
Please clap.
They charge at Tailsaw and they collide into another air battle. Tailsaw wins this time, but they catch themselves on the ground and they go Super Saiyan. And they throw a Kamehameha, the first named one, I think. Tailsaw takes it like a champ, okay? Tailsaw throws their own blast, they reflect it, but the fusion runs out of time. So, taking the opportunity, Tailsaw teleports behind them and blasts them. Overpowers them completely. What happens to number 32? Who knows? Patrick goes full demon mode, fully possessed. Power inhibitors off. Blast Tailsaw so hard that Tailsaw is forced back into their base form. Tailsaw, defeated, holds Tailsaw up with one hand, like Patrick did last time. Maybe I did this on purpose. Probably didn't, but Patrick blasts Tailsaw to death. The end of the Tailsaw storyline. Now, I have made another Sonic Comics storyline. I am in fact calling them storylines. Just bear with me here. I don't know if this is a remake. Maybe Sonic crashed out again. But, it's still part 2, because I'm shit at taking care of my oldest comics. So, once again, we don't have context for what the fuck Sonic is so mad about. We do know what he did though. What did he do to Patrick this time? I guess he blasted him to Kingdom Come. Goku, flying around, sees Patrick, and he lands, and he's like, who did this? Sonic is right behind him. What are you doing here? Did you do this? Sonic goes super. Goku goes Super Saiyan. They do a beam struggle, an explosion. Goku, throws a punch. I don't know who's throwing a punch here. Goku gets kicked in the stomach. Sonic gets kicked in the stomach. Sonic goes dark, does the Patrick, and he blasts Goku to Kingdom Come. So, Goku might be dead again. Maybe he survived the Tails doll thing. Patrick wakes up, wonders what happened, and here in part 3, Sonic chokes Patrick, alright? And he says, "Put me in your comics or else." I think this was the original intention for the first Crash Out. I don't know what that means. It sounds weird. Yeah, I'm definitely retconning that. Patrick, he's falling asleep because he's fucking narcoleptic or something. You know what'll wake Patrick up? Another punch to Patrick Planet. We're going to Patrick Planet again. This also seems to be a trend. So while Patrick is there, he wakes up to see, not Captain Patrick, I don't think. And Patrick leaves some sticks of dynamite he pulled out of his ass. And he somehow, from space, parachutes back down to Earth. He lands in Twilight's house. Twilight's reading the comic she first appeared in, which was batshit insane. Patrick breaks through the roof. Twilight doesn't care for some reason. And Patrick says, "Can you help me defeat Sonic?" Twilight doesn't know who Sonic is. Patrick teleports Twilight to the scene. Sonic's still Dark Sonic. Patrick says, "You're going down." Sonic does not give a singular fuck. Creates a spirit bomb, okay? And Twilight, holy shit. I know I could draw better ponies than that. I know I could have done that. I was a fan of My Little Pony, okay? I could definitely draw better than this. Definitely. At the time. Probably. Patrick leaves Twilight to die. Basically. Maybe Twilight can use her magic and just teleport out there too. But Patrick might as well have left her to die. That's crazy. Patrick, by chance, brings Twilight into this situation. And then nopes out of there instantly. That is some bullshit. Sonic runs out of power. Amy's here for whatever reason. She says, "This is boring. This is boring? This is boring to you." Oh, okay. Okay, alright. Fine. It's boring. This is boring you? Okay. The end, right? The end. Part 4. For whatever reason, Amy's here in the story right now. Sonic wakes up in Fleetway form, okay? Fleetway super form. Amy ain't ready for this. Somehow, Sonic grabs Amy like there's no tomorrow. He wants to know where Patrick is. Patrick apparently didn't teleport too far. Patrick is right behind Sonic. Sonic, in his Fleetway super form, does a Chaos Blast. And you know what happens? His Chaos Blast is so unbelievably massive, okay?
And you know what else is massive?
That Earth explodes. And it's not an explosion you can see from space. The Earth is the explosion. The entire Earth is gone. Amy fucking dies. Get fucked. You think this is boring? You think this is boring, bitch? Die. I command you, I will you to die in the next comic. I don't know if that was my intention, I don't know if I was that spiteful for a character in my own universe. I don't know if that was how it went. That is fucking hilarious though. The next half of this comic recontextualizes a lot of the comics before and after. So, after everybody on Earth dies because Sonic crashed out turbo hard, on my throne, the creator of this universe, God, if you will, I reverse time. I reverse the explosion. I bring Amy back, Patrick's still asleep, and Sonic is in jail. And I bring back Tails. What's Tails doing? Tails is the guardian of the Master Emerald now. And Tails does nothing. Tails never appears again. I retcon a comic mid-comic. I say, nah, we ain't done. Turn that shit back. Okay, Sonic, behave, okay? I'm putting your ass in jail. Amy and Patrick, you stay where you are, okay? Patrick, stay the fuck down, okay? You and Sonic are far away from each other. Stop this, alright? So, if that's it, then why isn't it? We got part 5. Doesn't even say Patrick Comics on it. Doesn't even say part 5. And the page is almost torn in half for some reason. For some reason, Amy knows that Sonic is in jail. I guess I willed that so that the story could keep going forward. So Amy has a reason to crash out. Amy goes, super, maybe, blast Patrick. Patrick, unconsciously, subconsciously, I don't know, the demon comes out and blasts Amy. Amy may or may not be dead. Maybe I brought Amy back just to kill her again. Who knows? Who knows? I don't actually know. But Amy gets teleported out of there. Amy gets teleported out of harm's way. And Knuckles teleports in. Knuckles is back. Patrick, possessed, fires a blast at Knuckles. Knuckles fucking deflects it. Knuckles fires a blast. Possessed Patrick doesn't care. The end. Now we got part 6. You know I was over it. I had to intervene. Knuckles is here. I'm over this shit. Y'all do what you wanna do. I'm out of here. I'm going back to my godly sleep. Lord knows I need it. I know I need it. In part 6, Sandy appears. Sandy's back. She says, what's going on here? Who's that guy? Patrick introduces him. He's Knuckles. Sandy pounces on Knuckles like Wajah Jackson.
That's that shit I don't like.
Patrick is trying to get Sandy's attention. Sandy just keeps beating on Knuckles, okay? And we all know, at least I know, the mashup here. What's happening right now is completely accurate, according to me. What's my source? Me. I know what goes down in a Sandy versus Knuckles matchup, okay?
Okay, Pinhead Larry. Now you get yours.
So, Patrick is trying to let the guys know he senses something. Patrick can sense power levels, and it's kind of hard to see because of how destroyed the page is, but Sonic lands behind Patrick, seemingly lands from space. He touches down, okay? Sonic is ready to kill. Patrick decides once again to leave his friends to die. And that's it. Now, it's still not it. But also, I don't have 5 fucking parts of this series. I don't have Sonic Comics Part 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't know what the fuck happened to that many parts. and I have part 12. I don't know where the fuck they went. I don't know how that transpired. I think I remember the plot, at least. Patrick was destroying every Sonic character. That's why at part 12, we're at Manic, who was introduced in a comic. In fact, let's go into that comic right now. It's called Iron Manic. It introduces Iron Man and Manic. Iron Man is hunting down Patrick for some reason. Everyone's hunting down Patrick for one reason or another. I don't know why. Maybe it's the same reason why Goku gets hunted down for various reasons. Maybe Patrick's the strongest. His existence is a problem, so we gotta take him out. So Iron Man fires a missile at Patrick's house. And Patrick isn't seen again in this particular comic, so let's assume he's dead. At the same time, SpongeBob is talking to Manic. And Manic is, like, completely self-centered. He introduced himself as the protector of Earth, a perfect hero, and handsome. None of which are true. Watch Sonic Underground, okay? I haven't seen it, but just watch it. I'm sure I'll be completely correct. SpongeBob seeing all that is like, okay. Iron Man appears from what may or may not be the smoke of Patrick's house, and he says, I will destroy you. Turns into a new form, I guess. And then nothing happens. Iron Man is never seen again. And Manic appears again in Sonic Comics 12. What happens in Sonic Comics Part 12? His house gets bombed by Patrick. Patrick puts some C4 on Manic's TV, and Manic dies. The end. Let's cut Sonic Comics parts 7 to 11 out of it. Let's just cut to the chase and say Patrick leaves to kill Manic for some reason. And then we got this next era. Spider-Man vs. Spider-Pan is the comic that we're going to talk about next. And this one has some neat battle choreography, okay? Then again, part of it was done on the school bus. The first half looks a little weird. So we see Patrick playing Spider-Man, and he's at the top of a building. Are we in New York right now? I don't know. There is not a single named place, I don't think, in Patrick Comics. Unless it's someone's house. Patrick is just on the top of a tall building. He doesn't see any criminals. And then Spider-Man appears, swinging on a web that is hanging on to the fucking moon, I guess. What else could he be swinging from? Sometimes you see Spider-Man swinging on webs that have no sticking point. You don't see where they go. And it's like this for a bit, okay? We see him swing. Spider-Man thinks it's an imposter, even though they look nothing alike. This is Sonic Shadow logic. This ain't an imposter, bro. He's just wearing a costume. Patrick loses balance, and either Spider-Man kicks him down, or Patrick falls down. And Patrick falls so far down that when he lands, he creates a fucking crater. And he survives. Alright, Spidey. Apparently he knows it was Spider-Man.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. First of all, where are you?
Spider-Man lands on Patrick's head. Patrick grabs his feet and is about to throw him.
Alright, you chose the hard way.
Patrick flings Spider-Man. But while Spider-Man is in the air, Spider-Man spins webbing on Patrick. Patrick breaks out, and after that, apparently there's a quota we haven't met. We gotta put Sonic in here, okay? We gotta put a Sonic character in the story, okay? So Sonic, in his flying vehicle with no propeller, no wings, no back fins, none of that. Sonic in his floating beam drops a fucking nuke. It can't be anything else. I think I remember what I was doing, okay? Sonic drops a fucking nuke. Spider-Man is in the right place to catch the nuke. And you know what Spider-Man does? He throws it at Patrick. Sonic, out of nowhere, in the smack dab middle of the story, comes in to drop a fucking nuke on Patrick. Spider-Man catches it and throws the nuke at Patrick. What the fuck is this? Patrick survives a nuke being thrown at him and decides to go Super Saiyan. Spider-Man might have made a mistake. Patrick does his thing, chokes Spider-Man with one hand, and blasts him. Let's say Spider-Man may or may not have survived this encounter. Also, the Earth is on fire, because the nuke was that powerful. The next comic is Captain Falcon vs. Patrick. Patrick, apparently allergic to not getting in trouble, is sleeping in Blue Falcon. How the fuck did he get here? I don't know. Captain Falcon finds him, and Patrick tries to get out of this by saying, my house got destroyed by a Pokemon. Captain Falcon doesn't know what a Pokemon is, because there are no Pokemon in this universe. Patrick is baffled by this, I guess because he's a Super Smash Bros. Character. He's been around plenty of Pokemon. So Patrick is offended by this and tries to punch Captain Falcon, but misses. Captain Falcon punches Patrick in the face, and Patrick pulls out a fucking super scope. Everybody has a fucking hammer space pocket that just pull random shit out of. Patrick charges the super scope, fires a blast. Captain Falcon charges his Falcon Punch, and we have our third Falcon Punch in this video, because I love Captain Falcon, the greatest. Golden Falcon for life. The attacks collide and the Earth blows up in a fisted explosion. On Patrick Planet, we see Captain Patrick. Captain Patrick is disappointed in Patrick. The end. Now, what could the next comic be? Another battle? Well, actually, it's a grand adventure, led by Espio of all people. You're probably wondering, even after all of this, why does Espio look like that? Well, I'll tell you. I had no fucking idea what Espio looked like. Or maybe I did, and I just fucked up the design royally. This isn't even Espio's first appearance. I didn't go through his other appearances because it's either something that was obviously made by a child, or it's some indecipherable bullshit that I'm just not bothering to discuss. Oh yeah, also Espio's dumb. They're all completely different characters, basically. Let's get into Espio's Adventure 1. What is Espio's Adventure about? Oh well, Espio, with who knows how much money or resources, decides to take his friends Patrick, Sonic, Twilight Sparkle, and Ryu on a trip around the world for God knows what reason. So they get on a plane out of the US, they go past Brazil, they go over the Jesus statue, and they land in Antarctica. Espio turns into a giant ice rectangular prism, and they seemingly leave him, cause we're in Africa now. Patrick is burning out here in the Sahara Desert, and Patrick sees Twilight dying of a heat stroke in the middle of the desert, and he is so distraught by this that he decides to punch the sun. Of course, Patrick disintegrates into dust right after doing that. Now, I assume we leave Patrick and Twilight, as well as Espion, and Sonic and Ryu, yes, that's Ryu, we've been through this, are traveling to Europe. They're in the UK or something. Sonic is wearing a bowler hat. He thinks this is ridiculous, but like, Ryu says at least it's fancy. When I was a kid, I had this stupid thing where I thought British people were all people with monocles and big mustaches that drank tea and wore suits and stupid shit. They didn't wear bowler hats though. The stereotype is they wear top hats, if I'm not mistaken. So this is stupid. Sonic agrees with me. So here we have a Kyle cameo. Apparently everyone was given plans in case everyone fucking died. So Sonic asks Ryu where they're going next, and Ryu says Asia. Now, for whatever reason, Sonic doesn't like Mario. Mario is nowhere to be seen in these comics, but he crashes out at the flip of a switch, okay? So, apparently he knows Mario and he hates him, he despises him, and Sonic is about to crash out like never before, okay? Well, almost like never before. So, that was Espio's Adventure 1. Now we have Espio's Adventure 2, where we catch up with everyone and their whereabouts. I don't know why we're in Africa right now. Maybe someone else is flying the plane. We have Espio in Africa now, in the Sahara Desert. Espio is no longer in a giant ice prison. He sees Twilight. 3 hours pass. Twilight wakes up from her heat stroke. She wonders where Patrick is. Patrick is still a pile of dust. He decides not to be a pile of dust anymore, and he's wondering where everyone else is. I guess he senses Sonic's power level or something, and he teleports to Japan to see Sonic trashing the place. Japan must die, he says. Sonic throws a blast so powerful that he fucking Hiroshima's Japan like it's the end of World War II. Ryu pleads with Sonic to stop this. He's gonna destroy Earth again. I'm done, bro, I'm done. You can't destroy Earth again. We won't get brought back to life, bro. Stop this. Sonic says he doesn't care about Earth, which I wouldn't be surprised about, honestly. And they are flabbergasted by this. So, one of them, probably Patrick, threw Sonic into space as payback for all those times he was sent into space by Sonic. The end. What a great movie. Forgot to eat popcorn for it. It was so good. Not the last comic, but close. Is not the Five Nights at Freddy's parody that's Jigglypuff in it, and Squidward as Foxy. Yeah, it's not that. It's Blaze's third return. I think it's technically the second return, but I am missing the entire thing. I'm missing 75% of this story. So, if I remember correctly, Patrick and the gang were fighting Blaze, who isn't even female in this universe. Blaze gets defeated. Blaze comes back as a cyborg for whatever reason. He gets defeated again. So, cutting it extremely short, that is where we pick up. This is about 2017 if I'm not mistaken. So, the art will look noticeably better. This is where I made these, okay? We pick up with Blaze pinned to a wall, Quater, and he wakes up, vowing revenge on Patrick and the gang. Mostly Sonic, I guess, because we find Patrick and Sonic sparring, but Patrick found Scourge for some reason. Sonic doesn't want to fight Scourge. He hates him for maybe justifiable reasons, and Sonic gets teleported away. Sonic is now forced into battle with Blaze. Presumably, this isn't their first time fighting. Sonic does his world-famous super fast punching move, and it doesn't work on Blaze. Blaze shoots a blast from his mittens, and Sonic takes that personally. Possibly as a result of all the sparring he's been doing with Patrick, Sonic has a new form, Ultimate Sonic. This is a form I came up with myself. I'm sure there is an Ultimate Sonic form you can find on DeviantArt, but this one is mine. I drew it once. Definitely probably wasn't just for this comic. Sonic in his ultimate form punches Blaze, and clearly Blaze is stronger than before. Somehow, in part 2, Sonic and Blaze shoot blasts at each other and cause an explosion that Patrick can see from his house. Sonic wins the beam struggle. Patrick gets ready in his ultimate form. Sonic and Blaze charge at each other, cause an explosion, and then they get ready to charge at each other again. Before they reach each other, Patrick butts in and gets ready to fight Blaze as well. Patrick throws a Kamehameha at Blaze that tears his arm off. Blaze throws a beam at Patrick that he just deflects. He just shows off, teleports in front of Blaze, and Blaze recovering his arm, because I forgot what was on the page I'm drawing on. I don't know. Blaze grows giant. Where have we seen this face before? Blaze is now massive.
And you know what else is
Patrick, showing off again, goes fucking ultimate 3 or 2, I don't know, and he gets blazed. He's done. Patrick, ever the lazy one, decides he's done for the day and walks off. Assumably, Sonic decides to defeat Blaze himself in part 3, where I just decided to get straight into the comic, not even bothering to put the border on the Patrick Comics logo. Just forget the logo entirely. Blaze dodges Sonic's flying punch, and Sonic lands back on the ground, goes super, and he is met by none other than Finn. A fun fact about Finn in this series: I always imagine him in the series to have a lower voice than he does in the show. Doesn't really matter that much, but it's fun to imagine if you're an Adventure Time fan. So, Sonic doesn't believe this because, you know, he died. He was there with Patrick. He died. Sonic says last year, according to a real life, I don't think it was last year. I'm pretty sure this comic was made in 2017, and I don't think Tailstar 3 was made in 2016. That just doesn't make any sense to me. That can't be right. So let's just assume time in the Patrick Comics universe is what he's talking about. Finn says he was revived. Let's assume that was one of the things I did when I brought Earth back. Sonic and Finn, well, mostly Finn, decide to finish Blaze. Blaze thinks this is too easy. This is a winnable battle. Finn replies to Blaze's quote, "You fools think you can defeat me?" with yes. Finn just says yes because he jumps and does his dive, okay? This is his second attempt, okay? Either he dies horribly, okay? Or he wins. This time, he won. He stabs Blaze in the heart, let's say, and Blaze explodes. So I guess they made sure to run far away so they weren't caught in the explosion. Because Blaze is a cyborg now. Everybody knows when an electronic stops working, it turns into a bomb and explodes. He's finally dead. That was awesome. I know. The next day, Patrick, having nothing to do with that accomplishment, is bored. The end. Now, you remember that reality warp thing I mentioned near the end of my Kirby's World segment? Well, Sonic has a neck now. Isn't that great? Maybe all the other characters won't look like absolute dog shit. Here's your little sneak peek. This comic is called The Payback. Hello. You don't know who I am, but I know you. And you have done things to me that you will regret. I will find you, and I will kill you. What's wrong, Pat?
We need to move out of town. I don't think I can go up there.
Patrick, if this is who I think it is, we have to leave as soon as possible. Besides, can't you fly?
Oh yeah. Take my hand, SpongeBob. Alright, SpongeBob. Now all we have to do is find another place to...
We're too late. That, my friends, was the first 2 pages of The Payback. Probably 7 years apart. Doesn't that look amazing?
Hello. As you can tell by the bags under my eyes, I'm not going to bother to draw on every single still that I'm gonna use for this segment because fuck you. I am very exhausted. Not right now. I just woke up. It's 6 a.m. right now. But it's been 4.5 months working on this video. 4 months and 18 days, just about. I would love to work on anything other than this video. In fact, I'm so done that I'm not even going to bother to edit the stills. Here, have this. Enjoy that. Ending ramble time. This video is my baby. You know, it is my soul. It is me. I am the video. But working on anything else will be a godsend. It is the best feeling in the world to have this video finally done. The best. Original character combo compilation I made. I want that too. I would love to continue working on that. I'm not done getting all the combos from all the characters I have, but yeah, I've been waiting on someone to release their original character for the past 9 months. I'm kind of waiting for him, so hopefully that's this year. As you may have inferred throughout this video, I'm getting back into comics. It's been some years since I've worked on comics. Ever since I've gotten back into drawing in December of 2023, I've kind of gotten back into creating the stuff I used to create, you know. It's been liberating to get back into the creativity I used to have. It's been great. I feel very happy about what I'm doing. Comics, drawing, those stuffed animal action figure videos that some kids seem to be watching, even though they have profanity in them.
I'm here to notify you of a letter from King Bowser. King Bowser can suck my fucking dick.
It's been liberating. And if you somehow watch this entire video, that is longer than the Silver campaign, you have my eternal gratitude. Really, thank you for watching this video. Sincerely, thank you. That means the world to me that you watched this video. Thank you so much. I might share some more of my art with you later, someday. That might be cool. Share some of my comics again. This has been Katsup Sauce. I'll see you later.